You backstabbing cow. You've been pretending to care about both of us, but it's very clear you've chosen a side.
Okay,
Tyner's
Ziggy.
taken his stuff from the house. The only thing he left me was his ring. And now I find out he's moving in with you.
I was trying to help out a friend.
I'm your friend.
You're both my friend. He needed somewhere to stay.
He already had somewhere to stay. He had a home. So please tell me why you're making it so easy for my husband to leave
I am
me.
not making it easy for your husband to leave you. You did that on your own.
We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast. Your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Episode 4, season 4 already. How
For
fast
four.
is this going? How fast is this going? How are you?
I'm
Sophie?
good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well.
Good.
It's still January.
It's still January. How? How? I don't understand. It's been going on for ages. We've still got one Monday left of January. How come we've had like 5 Mondays, haven't we? I think.
It's
Insane.
well, I know, and with considering the podcasts have been up and running now, we're still in the same month that we restarted. It feels like we never left. We never went on a break now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What break?
Um,
Yeah.
Busy month on the podcast. Oh, good. Hey, lots of podcasts, lots of coastal news claxons this week on Home and Away.
I've been so excited. I've been just like, he just mentioned us, and I'm like, well, it's not really us technically, but it
No.
does feel like it is. You've got
We have a
an
theory though,
interview
don't
with the
we?
Coastal News.
Yeah,
Do
we
we?
have a theory that we inspire the writers to include the coastal news more.
Oh, our Delulu theory. Yes. We like to think that we are, we're being written into the show as a little nod, but we know that that's completely Delulu. And we're
It is
probably,
Delulu.
not.
I love that
Yeah.
word. It's my new favourite.
Yeah.
Good week. How's week been in the world of soap?
It's been okay. I can't actually remember what I've done. So they know just work. Nothing interesting at all. But Traitors obviously has been a highlight. You and me have been texting on WhatsApp, haven't we, every night going, oh
We'd have
So-
done big business on a Traitors pod, you know.
I know. We're too late now. There's too many of them.
Yeah, we can't be bothered. We've got this is enough work.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of Traitors podcasts.
And there's
isn't
there's a kind of unofficial one, isn't there, with Wilf and is it, who
Wilf?
else is on? There's a few from season 1 that are actually doing. I can't remember who's on it now. I'd have listened to it. I can't remember what voices are on it. But
Oh god.
so I think people that seems to be getting to number 1 every week in the old download chart. So
The old chart, yeah.
yeah, we missed the boat on that one. And if you're going to listen to a Traitors podcast, you want to listen to someone who's actually in the Traitors,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Really?
You're going to
So
listen to one with Wilf and not got
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Never mind, eh?
Mm,
But by the time this episode goes out, we will know who's won the Traitors.
we
So-
will. Yeah.
Oh, exciting times. It's like
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show of the year, isn't it? Everyone's
It
watching
is. Yeah. Absolutely.
including ourselves. Of course, we're watching Home and Away first. That's what we're here to talk
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It goes Home and Away, then the Traitors,
Yes.
chronologically. And it's been a busy old week, and we'll get right into it. I was sharing with you, wasn't I, earlier week? I've got a new exercise regime
Oh yes.
because I always start exercise and then fail. And
Little, yep.
yes, I have a new plan this week. I was sharing it with you, wasn't I, in the week? So, and I've made it to Friday. So week 1,
Yay!
yeah,
You did 4 or 5 days.
no 4.
4 days. Oh, amazing.
Friday doesn't count. I've got the wine open and I've had garlic bread for lunch.
Oh well.
Um,
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You did more than
Well, I
I
was-
have. All I've done is
Yeah.
walk the dog. So
Well, that was my plan B, get a dog. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll never not watch Home and Away. So I may be making myself watch it whilst on the treadmill.
yeah, that's a good idea.
But I was thinking, so I'm on it walking, watching telly,
Yeah.
making notes, and it sort of makes me not get bored too much while I'm on it.
Mm.
And I was burning like 400 to 500 calories a day. So that's
Really?
like 2,000 calories extra I've burnt this week that I wouldn't have done before.
That's like a whole day's worth of calories.
That's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah. So
Wow.
you won't recognise me by April.
Blimey heck, I think I need to get one. Damn it.
Oh,
No room in
I'll
my
sell
house
you
for a
mine on
treadmill.
Tuesday when I stop doing it.
I'll have to put it in the garden. I don't think I'd have any room for a treadmill in my house.
Mine's in the kitchen. Oh.
Oh my god.
Anyway, do you want your headlines?
I do.
Right, I've been practicing these because I've written them weird. You ready?
I'm waiting now. Yeah, go on then.
Irene learns her fate as she attends court for her sentencing. Tane announces we're done as he moves out of the marital home and Felicity starts to blame Mackenzie. Rue submits an interview to the Coastal News on behalf of Mr. Stewart
Whoop, whoop.
and let's just say he's less than happy about it. And Leah tries to conceal her struggles as the kidnapping nightmares keep her up at night.
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts and ensure you never miss an episode.
Right, okay. So, shall we do lyric in a minute?
Oh yes, why not? Let's
Yeah.
get it out of the way. Actually,
Is it-
actually, do you know what? I actually haven't found it too awful this week. Is that?
Have you not?
Yeah, it was okay. Do you know why? It's because they weren't arguing and they weren't having a tantrum and they just rehearsed and did a gig and it wasn't any drama
Yeah.
and I was
got-
much happier.
Busted all the classics out.
Yeah, well,
Until this moment.
hold until this moment. Yeah, you
Yeah,
make me fall. Yeah.
it wasn't
was-
excruciating, was it?
It
Yeah.
wasn't. I can. I don't mind it if they're just having a rehearsal and doing a gig. I can cope. It's all the drama, the
Yeah.
tediousness of them being 40 years old and acting like teenagers. I cannot stand.
Let's have a meeting. Yeah, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right, have you got your stopwatch? I'll get you through it.
I
I'll
have,
get you
yes.
through it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Remy and Eden agree to focus on the band. That is until Bree comes off the night shift and into a swimsuit. Anyway, band practice gets underway at the share house, and Remy says, nah, these songs are tight. We don't need to practice. Suggests they do their first gig back at Salt before they do this whole radio interview later in the week that never even transpired. Because they've got this huge wave of social media momentum going on right now. Xander, though, he's reluctant to take on the extra workload down at Salt, but as he's the new events manager, it's a good chance for him to prove himself, so he can't really say no, can he? Anyway, if Mac and Felicity don't want to go to work, they don't get a say, do they, Xander? Their gig gets underway and everyone's a bag of nerves. Eden can't even put a mic stand up. Remy says this is their one shot to come back. Terrifies everybody. Does anyone really care? Because I know we don't. Well, if you do, the album's getting downloads again, so go download it. And these parents, even happy, they send a celebratory bottle of Chianti in the post. And that was lyric in a minute.
Stop. There we go. You literally done it. Well done. Wow.
Oh,
You did
there we go.
good.
That's the first
Did
time we
good.
haven't run over. Do we want to brief? I've not really put them on the bill, but do we want to briefly talk about Bree meeting Remy's parents? Because that seemed to be a big thing in tonight's 5-star
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Do you think it's going
Um,
to go on to next week, this, or do you think that was it?
I don't know. I mean, we've cast 2 actors here
Yeah, that's true.
over the age of 35. Oh my God, someone
know.
ring a bell.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
So they can't be permanent. So what's the reason? Like, so he's suddenly, it's his parents' 35th anniversary, which
Yeah.
must be a nod to the show's 35th anniversary year last year. Nothing goes unmissed here at Coastal News.
Yeah.
So he's taken Bree up there to meet them. It's a bit awkward because Bree assumes they know that they met via an affair and a murdered husband. And there's a bit of a moment, isn't there, at the end of the episode where she's like, why didn't you tell him about that? I was married. And they're very well to do. I mean, the house is out of this world, isn't it?
It's not even a house. It's just like a complex. It's massive. It's huge.
What do we think the story is here, though? Why Why now?
I don't think it's about his parents. I think it's about bringing up Bree's past again. So I got a little bit worried about this because they seem to be in a good place again, don't they? Just
Mm,
because they
mm.
were in a rocky place not that long ago when he didn't have a band and he was moaning and moping around, and she was moving in and helping him with the bills, and then now she's run off again, hasn't she, and back to living with Xander and Rose, and things seem to be okay whenever Remy's in a good mood because the band's going well. They seem to be going well, don't they, as a couple?
Yeah, that's
And then
right, actually.
when
yeah.
Lyric falls apart, it looks like Bree and Remy are falling apart as well at the same time. It's like his whole personality is his band, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
is this are we harping back to how they got together, her past? Because she seems to be dealing with that okay. She was going through counselling, wasn't she, not that long ago, to get through the fact that she murdered her husband, but she, it was self-defense and
Well, I was looking at this
Yeah.
thinking she actually looks like she's come through this better than
Yeah.
he has, because he
Yeah.
shoots it out. This is a conversation for another day. I've not told my mum about it. It's all a big secret. She's ready to talk about it. She's quite open.
She is, but then he knows his parents better than she does, and is that the best time, just 10 minutes before a party starts, to say, by the way, my girlfriend's a murderer? Probably not
Bon
the best
appetit.
time. You know what I mean?
Have you locked the shovels up? Yeah.
I think maybe it's the conversation for a day when there's no party guests and no party, and you know what I mean? Like maybe tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. And it's going to spill into next week, isn't it? So, because the party's only just started. But yeah,
But
very.
Why do you think we're revisiting the Jacob storyline now?
I don't know, but Bree definitely needs this because we keep joking on the pod about not remembering she's even here.
Yeah, that's true.
About time that girl got a story. Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy for her.
Yeah. It's just weird that it's a story that we've already had being sort of brought up again. And I'm wondering whether now Bree and Remy, because I'm still on the fence as to whether they are a good couple, whether they're suitable for each other, etc. Whether I think that they go together, and I don't see many Bree and Remy fans online, as a couple. Fans of them as individuals I can see, but I don't think anybody's really shipping them as a couple. So is this a way of maybe splitting them up and highlighting that there's still something brewing underneath? I don't know. I'm a bit lost as to why we've gone down this.
There's a reason, isn't there? And it's a bit early. Maybe we'll get some answers tomorrow in First Look. But yeah, you're right. There's a story here. I don't know what it is, and why it needs to involve Remy's parents. Who knows?
Who knows? It was nice to see somebody else, though. It was nice to see a different place, different people, and it was nice to get some answers about Remy, because if they've been married 35 years, how old is Remy? Because we thought he was in his 40s, didn't we? So is he a post-marriage baby or pre-marriage baby? Like, how old is this guy? And also, it kind of answered some questions I had about him and his entitlements. Can we say it that way? His privilege, because when Bree says, "Oh, this is a really nice house," and his mum says, "This was a gift, to us for our wedding from my parents," and I thought, well, she's come from money then, so she's inherited this house, essentially, not inherited, but been gifted this house from her parents as a wedding present. I mean, blimey heck, what a present that was. So she's coming across to me from just that one line, like she's been brought up with money. She maybe doesn't necessarily have the pressure and the responsibility of earning money. Like she's always had it, and maybe that's why Remy is although Remy always seems to be broke, I don't think he's getting handouts necessarily from them, because he always seems to be absolutely brassic, doesn't he? But I think the money and the responsibility, or the irresponsibility, that Remy has may be coming from his upbringing. I don't know. Am I reaching?
Well, no, I think you're right. I think you sent me that earlier, didn't you? And I thought, yeah, you probably bang on there. I want to know more about what the relationship between Remy and his parents is like.
Yes.
Because as you say, I mean, Eden even says at one point, like, they're really generous people.
Yeah.
They've been really great to me. They used to let me stay over for weeks on end when I was between things, and I was at a loose end. And I'm thinking, so how have they let him literally move to Summer Bay and starve to death? Like,
because maybe he's saying I don't need the money, and maybe he's making out that he's more successful than
yeah.
they are,
So
because
I
his
wanna-
dad says something
yeah.
about it, doesn't he? His dad goes, "Oh, thanks for, I'm so proud of you for forging your own path and making it a success." And I was thinking, he's not really, there is he?
Mm,
He's a starving
This is it.
artist.
This is it. So what's that dynamic between the two? I want to know more.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Because I mean, there was a little bit of like, we never thought we'd get you in the suit again. So then I'm like, so has he rebelled against the formality of this rich lifestyle?
Yeah. But yet
Has he
his example growing up hasn't been to work hard and get a
True.
job and
Yeah,
work for what you get. Because if she's been gifted that massive house without having to work for it, where's his work ethic come from? Has it come from
True.
I don't know, I'm just guessing.
No, you're right. These are all valid questions, and we need to know. Well, we want to know now, don't we?
We do want to know. And is he the only child? Because this is his parents' wedding anniversary and we don't see any siblings. So is he an only child as well?
As if, somebody might come out from a secret door in the library.
A secret twin.
Demi, the sister.
I would love that. I love a secret twin in the soap. It's so good. Juicy. Yes.
Dear.
Especially if they're evil. You know what I mean? Evil twin. Love that.
Right, Irene's judge. He's a stickler for the rules. You remember we left Irene. She was, she was having that agonising wait for a sentence, wasn't she? And John was following around like a puppy, trying to keep her spirits up. And all she wanted to do was blooming work, and keep distracted. And she gets a call from Greta Thunberg saying, the sentencing's the next morning.
I don't think it was Greta Thunberg, but yes. Was she ringing about the icebergs or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Make sure you take the bus to work. So John, there was a nice scene though. We're laughing, but John tells Dana and Harper, doesn't he? I don't know what to do with. She goes, Dan, and I was like, John.
She's my best mate.
Yeah, she's my bestie. She's my bestie. And I thought, oh no, John, I'm going to be sad because I don't know what it is about John. I really, he's completely got me. I feel everything John feels me. I think over the years I've really come to empathise with him.
Yeah.
He stubbed his toe. I'd probably feel it. You know what I mean?
I know, but sad John is so sad, isn't it? It does make you feel. It's like kicking a puppy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the next day, sentencing arrives, and the judge gives it, and she got off basically. Basically, he says, "I've considered the law, and the fact that it let you down, and you learn from the crime very late after it was committed, and therefore I completely and utterly exonerate you."
Yeah.
And rejoice that she's got off as Irene. Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't actually. I don't know. I guess we probably should have been expecting it because she did the whole speech, didn't she, the week before, the dramatic. Oh, do you think I should make a speech? Oh no, we don't normally in this case because you've done your plea, and then you just leave it up to the judge. But then we had that last minute. I'm going to put Irene on the stand, and she's going to say her piece. And I thought, what's going on here then? So I guess from that we should have had a clue that he's now heard this person talk and he's had a minute to think about it and he's gone away and changed his mind or whatever.
Yeah.
So it should have been a clue, but I think fully exonerated, I was expecting something like just an arbitrary slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, give her a tag or something. Yeah, something.
I thought, just something like, well, I can understand why you did it because the cop in the case was dirty, so of course you wouldn't trust cops because you don't know who else is involved. The crime was already being committed, as you said, but you still did something wrong, Irene, and you've got a history of stuff. So, community service for a week, or something just to say. That's what I was expecting. I mean, obviously, I'm preferred that she's not going to do anything, but it just, I don't know. I wasn't expecting nothing. Were you?
No, I think because as well they drilled in how
Mm.
You know, what a tough
How
cookie this
how
judge
evil.
was.
How evil
Yeah.
Irene is as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Um, I think if they'd have gone a bit less on like how like tough this judge is, you know, if they
Mm.
hadn't even mentioned that, if it had just been a regular old judge,
Yeah.
I think I'd have been like, okay, it wasn't such a U-turn, drastic
Mm.
U-turn, but yeah, I was expecting something just like not jail time, because
Mm.
would have heard if Lynn was leaving for a bit.
Yeah.
So I knew she wouldn't be doing jail time, but I sort of expected her to, yeah, like you say, bit of community service or suspended sentence or something. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the law is the law, and I
Mm.
mean, what is this sending out? This message, Sophie? Can we all just stash people in our back bedrooms? Do you know what I mean?
Well, you mean you haven't got anyone stashed in a criminal fugitive in your bedroom?
Not that I'm aware of, but I can't get in there. Um,
Fair enough.
did you see that moment as well? Dana really gets my back up now, and do you know what?
Yeah.
Last year before Christmas, before we broke up for the break, I was
Mm.
really starting to see good signs of her, but she's not yet to redeem. I've gone the other way with her, and she just first thing she turns around to Harper's like, "This is looking really good for you." I'm like,
Mm.
stop thinking about yourselves just for a minute. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is Irene's moment. She stuck her neck out for you two. Well, for
Mm.
you
Yeah.
actually, who's
Yeah.
caused this mess. She really, really gets me back up.
I agree. Yeah, the first thing out of her mouth should have been, "Oh, thank God," because I felt so guilty about bringing Irene into all my shit. That should have been her first reaction. But her first reaction was like, "Oh, okay. So what does this mean for you, Harper?" I was like, have a bit of consideration about what you've just put. I mean, look at Irene. I mean, she was on the stand, shaking like a leaf, looking absolutely terrified, facing 7 years in prison. And Dana couldn't give an absolute rat's ass, could she?
I know, I know.
I don't get it. I don't get her. She's got, for a nurse, no empathy whatsoever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
bizarre.
Very bizarre. I mean, I get it. It's a bit overwhelming. I get it. I get all that. And actually, Harper gets the call. Oh, because because of the Irene sentencing, and she's got off. The DPP have decided to drop it all. Oh, great.
Yeah. So you don't even have to go through the shaky court
Yeah,
scene.
which has annoyed me.
Mm,
Why has Irene been dragged through it?
I
You were
know.
on the run. You were on the run with this girl for months.
It started with Harper and Dana. So really, Harper should have been the one on trial first.
Yeah.
I would have thought, because that's
yeah.
where it originated from. I know,
It's
like
wild.
you, I'm glad Irene's not in prison, but I'm not sure I'm satisfied yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree because these girls, if they are to win the audience over, something needs to change here. This isn't going well at all, is it? They've
No.
decided to stay in the Bay. We saw that. So this needs to be I think this, if this goes on any longer, they're going to lose us. This needs to be the turning point now. Because I think they're losing us as an audience,
What's your feeling about Harper? So obviously we talked about Dana, but how do you feel about Harper as a character?
She seems the most sort of switched on, and the most. I think like I put myself. Let's pretend it's IRL. I know that's not a stretch on it, because we think it is anyway. But out of the two of them, I would be drawn in real life to Harper as a friend.
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I think the same. I think she's got a bit more about her. She's a bit more interesting. She seems a bit more level-headed. She seems a bit more. She can see the bigger picture with things, and she's got more empathy. She was worried about Irene. She was the one that wanted to be at court and hold Irene's hand. You know what I mean? I think she's the adult, whereas I think Dana's just annoying at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. Also, I think it'd be interesting if we have a permanent social worker in the Bay.
What doors does that open? Yeah.
That could be
Unless she changes career, because she still hasn't found a job, has she? So I was thinking, could she do something else if she didn't want to go back to social work? I don't know.
Can we make it a podcast rule though? Just like Harper and Dana. promise me from now on I can pick all your future boyfriends.
Sure, why not? Just hope any current ones aren't listening.
Plural.
Like, you don't know who's listening, do you?
all of them might be listening.
I like to cover all bases. I don't know whether Dave Grohl listens to the podcast, He might.
He might do. He might do. We've seen it on the old Instagram. He has actually heard of it.
He has. He saw it. Yeah.
That should be our tagline, Coastal News. You may have actually heard of it.
It's as good as any, I think.
Well,
Yeah, and it's true. we can back it up with evidence. It's all good.
This is it.
Hmm.
Let's see where we go. This needs to. Irene's off, and Harp and Dana need to change course pronto.
Yeah.
Right, Tane, let's go for it. He's in the gym and he's taking all his problems out on that poor old punching bag.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did. Might have seen it a few times.
It's a bit dark for my liking. You can easily put the light on, but apart from that, I had to turn the brightness up on my telly because I couldn't see properly. But there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mac asks him how he's doing, and he says, "I've been better." Oh, yeah. Not look better though.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Life's falling apart. Everyone's lying to me. Yada yada yada. She convinces him to go upstairs because you remember there's a lyric gig going on upstairs, very loud.
Oh yeah.
So you make me fall apart. I'm thinking his life literally is, but don't take him up there.
Yeah.
But she manages to talk him into it. Meanwhile, across town, Flick, who shouldn't be there, has decided she's going in, and you're just thinking, oh God, it's one of those soap cliches, isn't it? Two people are going to end up in the same room that don't want to be in the same room. And she sees them. She's not happy. Long story short, she thinks Mac is sort of stepping in and butting in where she doesn't belong, basically. And I feel a bit defensive of Mac because she's trying to be a friend to both of them.
Yeah, she's caught in the middle.
Yeah. And this guy is sleeping on the bloody gym floor. Because we see Felicity outside in the car park, onlooking as Mac gives him the door keys to a house, but he's like waving it in the air first, so we all know what it is. Before she hands it to him. I've never handed anybody a door key like that.
Well, you know what to do from now on. You need to waft it around first.
Yeah, pretend you're bowling at cricket. And she's really upset by this Felicity. She feels like Mac has taken a side, that she's taken him into a home, and and she's picked a side here. And poor Mac, as I say, is trying to be a friend to all, but can't get a word in edgeways when Felicity basically confronts her about it.
I know.
What's your initial thoughts on this? Because this is a really sticky situation. I'm feeling.
Yeah, obviously feeling for Mac on this one, because oh God, well, there's just so much to this whole storyline, isn't it? So Mac is doing the best that she can with the information that she knows, and she's trying to be there for both of them. So last week she was going to Felicity, he loves you, you'll get back together, this isn't the end, go and talk to him. She was being really supportive of Flick last week, and this week she's obviously making sure that Tane's okay, and she's going, oh, don't sleep on the gym floor, come and stay with me. Doesn't mean she's going against Flick. It just means she's trying to be there for both of them, because at the end of the day, they're both her friend. And I feel for her, because if I put myself in Mac's shoes, I'd be doing the same. I'd be like, I don't want to choose between you, because I knew both of you separately before you were a couple, and I was friends with both of you before you were a couple. Flick's my friend and my business partner, but you're my friend, and you were also the brother of someone that I had a really serious relationship with. So I'm literally picking the middle here. I don't think she's done anything wrong, and I think what Flick's done to Mac is absolutely unforgivable. You know,
Mm.
screaming at her in the middle of Salt. I would have kicked her off the balcony if I was Mac. I don't know how she stood up to that and just let her just scream in her face. She
And
was
you're
so
talking about
calm.
that. You talk about that scene as well, where she sort of announces to the whole restaurant, "Right,
Oh God,
everyone can have free dinner." You're just thinking, what on earth?
I
Trade
know.
that.
And I was just thinking, do you know what? Tane doesn't need to have a child because he married one. He married an 8-year-old because I'm not being funny, but who acts like that? When I get that she's angry, and this is another thing where I feel for Mac because Mac doesn't know the whole story. She's been told, well, she found the pills, isn't she? She found Flick's
Mm.
contraceptive pills, put two and two together, and said, "You're not doing what I think you're doing. Yes, I am, but out in your business." And Flick shut her down. She won't talk to her. So Flick has had more of a conversation with Eden, where Eden was like, "Are you feeling pressured to her to say yes to have a child?" She's like, "Yes, I do feel pressured." She hasn't had that same conversation with Mac. She hasn't said to Mac, "Let me explain why I've done this, because this is what's happened. Like, Tana's been putting pressure on me. I felt like if I don't say yes, I'm going to lose him." And
Mhm.
I she tried to tell her, "I'm trying to give myself a bit of time," but she didn't do a very good job of explaining why she felt like
Yeah.
she had to do it. So I feel
Mm.
like Mac hasn't got all of the details anyway, so she's kind of in the dark about what's going on. She's seen it very black and white.
Yeah.
She's lied to Tane. So probably, if you were to force Mac for an answer of who was most in the wrong, I think she would probably say Flick at the moment.
Yeah.
I think she would.
Well, we were talking during very extensive Your Say on the Bay last week in last
Yeah.
week's episode,
Mm.
all about it was a very special Felicity episode. And we were talking about how it's currently being slanted, how
Mm.
it's being written at the minute, sort of is trying to goad you into Felicity's the villain. Like
Yes. Yeah.
she's done wrong here. And then there's a whole sort of moral debate about whether that's right or wrong,
Mm.
surrounding that between, amongst the audience. But you're right. Mac is in the same boat as us, as the audience, really. She is seeing Felicity as the baddie. Tane's
Yeah.
hard done by. He's been lied to.
Mm.
She's been deceitful. She's done all this stuff, and now she's being a complete bitch about it to me, like
Yeah.
she's bad. You know,
Yeah.
when actually, we sort of alluded to it last week. There's reasons for this behavior. I did like that line from Mackenzie actually. Like, stop apologizing.
Mm.
Everybody's apologizing for Felicity's behavior
Mm.
apart from Felicity. And I think at the moment, that for me is what probably doesn't sit right, in that
Mm.
Felicity is behaving like
Yeah.
this and Tane isn't. And
Yes.
that paints her in a worse light.
Yes. Tane looks crushed, doesn't he? He looks crushed. He looks
Mm,
like a man that's been sold a lie and, led down the garden path, etc. Flick
yeah.
looks like someone who's told a lie, got caught out, can't deal with that, can't say sorry, and is just taking it
And
out on
it's
the whole
everybody else's
world.
fault. Yeah.
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 So she's
Yeah.
coming across as really immature, really annoying. And she's refusing to tell anybody. Like, she's literally shut Mac out. Like, before the screaming in her face and telling everybody that they can have a free meal, etc., she was saying, "None of your business, none of your business, none of your business." Whereas if she'd taken the time to say to Mac, "This is what's happened, this is how I feel, this is why I did it,"
Mm,
you know what I mean? They needed that conversation. So I can absolutely see where Mac's coming from. But even though Flick has screamed in her face and almost sabotaged the business because she's in a mood, even though all of that, and Xander was saying to Mac, "Oh, are you okay? Do you want to have the rest of the afternoon off? How are you dealing with this?" And Mac was like, "I feel for her. I can see that, she's really like struggling and I want to help her." And I thought, oh my God, well, there's a mature adult
yeah.
that
Yeah.
can see the bigger picture, and she can see both sides, and she can see that in her mind Felicity's done something awful, but yet
Yeah.
she's still a friend and she still wants to help her. And I just thought that was such a it's so obvious how different they are as people in
Yeah.
terms of their
And
maturity and everything else.
yeah, absolutely. And it proves how much this show needs Mac.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
she's a pillar, you know, and it looks like she's going to be quite important for
Yes.
what's going on between these two at the moment.
Yeah.
And obviously they're avoiding each other, and you know, Tane's gone back to the house, hasn't he, to pack. And she's come home, so there's been another moment where they bumped into each other, and she says, look, she's pleading with him, and she, look, for us to work, we need to talk. If we're going to work this out, we need to be in the same room. And he's done, isn't he? He's like, we're done, I'm leaving, wedding ring on the table, like very final. And that's what spurs this sort of reaction from Felicity towards Mac, because she sees Mac forced her to basically tell him. So therefore, she sees Mac as some sort of catalyst for all this happening. She's not thinking straight, is she? She's not thinking,
no.
You know, the bigger picture. This was never going to work. You know, this this was the inevitability because we want different things. All the stuff we've been talking about, and she calls her a backstabbing cow for letting him sleep on a sofa.
I know.
You know, why are you making it so easy for my husband to leave me? She's finding somebody else to blame without thinking, not just her, but Tanya as well. We need to look in the mirror, and this is the time to be honest about what we want.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, she's not good at that, though, is she, Flick? We talk about Flick's flaws all the time on this podcast, and one of the things she can't do is that self-reflection. She can't see, you know, that she's done something wrong. She can't admit when she's in a situation that's over her head. She can't admit what's really happening, and this is what she does. She's actually angry at herself. She's cross because, you know, she went into this marriage thinking they were on the same page. And now they're not on the same page, and she's angry about it. And you know, she's got a right to be angry about that. I'm not saying that Tane's done anything wrong in changing his mind, because he's more, you know, he's welcome to change his mind about having children. But when she said "I do," they were on the same page as far as she knew, and now they're not. And she can be angry about that because she's lost the future that she thought that she was going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely valid, isn't it? You know? And that was the future that was agreed upon.
Yeah, she's angry at herself because she hasn't dealt with that, because she hasn't done that self-reflection. She hasn't come to the terms with the fact that now they're on different pages and they need to have that conversation. She needs to be brave and say, do you know what? I still don't want a kid. And if you do, what does it mean? You know, they had that conversation. He said, well, that means the relationship's over. And she panics and went, okay, let's have a child then. Literally 24 hours later, she's angry at herself because she made a promise to him then when she changed her mind in inverted commas and said they wanted to try for a baby, that she lied and that she didn't really want that. And she wasn't being truthful. And that's when she started to take the pills and, you know, I'll just give myself some more time. She's lying to herself. And I think she's angry with herself. Right. She's not angry with Mac. Mac's done nothing wrong.
Yeah. To give her a due, she apologises, doesn't she? So she sounds like she might be realising, or there's early signs of her realising.
Yeah.
Because she goes all the way up to the farm. She's leaving. After she's cleared out the till.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I know.
She goes up to the farmhouse, doesn't she? And she's like, is he there? Is he here? And Mac doesn't know because she's only just stepped in the door herself. And she gives her the ring and says, will you give this to him? And she's like, oh, I don't know if I could get, just please, I need him to know. This is a reminder that we're married and I'm going to leave town. And sounds like Felicity's going to go off and have a good old think.
I don't know. This whole thing stank to me. You know, when she kind of came home and Cash and Eden were there and she made that big drama about packing her bag. I'm going off to the city for a few days. Do you want me to come with you? Like Eden's was like, do you want me to come with you? We can hang out. You know, we can spend some time together. No, I want to be on my own. You know, she made a big drama about packing a bag and leaving and that she was off to the city to make Cash worry about her, to make Eden worry about her. Then she goes round to the farmhouse and does it to Mac and says, I'm going away for a few days and give Tane this ring. She wants Mac to feel sorry for her and worry about her. She wants Tane to feel sorry for her and worry about her. if you genuinely wanted to be on your own because you thought, do you know what, I need time out here, you don't go around making a big drama out of it. You just say to
That's
people,
true. So do you
don't
think
worry
it's an
about me.
attention thing? Do you
It
think it's she's doing
is.
it? Mm,
Yeah, I think that's why it stank to me, because I was like, this is just attention seeking, so they can all go, oh, poor Flick. Oh, don't go, Flick. Like, all the attention's back on her. Feel sorry for me. I'm a victim. And I was like, but you actually are a victim in a way, but the way that you're acting makes people not want to be sympathetic towards you. And that's why I'm like, oh, Flick, you're just doing all the wrong stuff here.
Yeah, I hadn't picked up on that, but now you said that, I can see it.
It's just, I just feel like she isn't mature enough to say, this is why I did it. This is how I feel. You know, just have a conversation that's
Yeah.
not raising her voice, not screaming in someone's face, not having it's a blackmail tantrum thing, isn't it? I'm gonna go to the city. It's emotional blackmail. Everybody worry about
Mm,
me. I'm off the rails and I'm gonna tell everybody about it. If you genuinely wanted to go away for a few days, you wouldn't make a song and dance about it. You would just pack your bag and you would phone people and say, don't worry about me. I'm absolutely fine. I just need to go away for a few days and clear my head. Not the whole scoop everything into a bag, make a big drama thing that she did, which
yeah.
makes everybody
Yeah.
immediately panic and feel sorry for her. I just
Yeah,
think
you're
she
right.
just doesn't have the maturity levels to deal
Yeah.
with, even though
You're
it's annoying me because she how do I phrase this? The way that she has been treated and the way the storyline has gone on, she is a victim in her own right, in a
yeah.
way, isn't she? Because
Yeah. Oh yeah.
she does feel like she's
Pressured.
been pressured
Mm,
into it. But the way she's acting now, it doesn't help her case. And I think
mhm.
when I had it, I've got empathy for a situation, but even I am getting to the point where I'm feeling less empathetic towards her because of the way that she's acting now.
Yeah, her behaviour is letting her down. I'm worried
Yeah.
as well. If she buggers off on her own, what decisions is she going to make on her
Mm.
own in this state? Do you know what I mean?
Is she going
God
to come
knows
back
what she's.
pregnant? Is she going to have a one
Well,
night
I
stand and come back pregnant?
if she does, I called it.
You did. You did.
That would really rub Tani up.
And then she's like, "Oh, I'm going to keep it, even though I don't even know who it was, because it was some random from the city."
Surely not. Surely not. After all this.
That's a very soap story, though, isn't it?
Mm,
I'm half
mm.
expecting it. Now you said it.
I'll be spitting fire on a Friday night on here. If that
I can't
happens.
wait. I can't wait. Yes, angry
Oh.
sigh. Give me angry sigh.
You love it when I kick off, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, because it's not me doing it for a change.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I love it when you kick off. Right. Speaking of kicking off, old Alf. Right. He's hung his award up and Marley's congratulate him. And he says, it's not all about me. Anyone names could be up there. It's the community. It's all about the family. And Rue's hooked
Alf
up the
Mitchell.
coast. Imagine. Thanks.
I love it.
And Rue, she's hooked up the Coastal News to do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Clink, 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 clink.
We're happy. We're happy to do an interview anytime, Mr. Stewart.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you're ready.
Do you know what? How annoyed would we be if we genuinely thought we'd got an interview lined up with Mr. Stewart and we ended up with Rue? I'd be so disappointed.
You'd send me on my own.
I'd be like, nah, I'm not going. It's Rue. It's not Mr. Stewart.
And I'll be like, Soph's got COVID.
I don't want the monkey on the organizer.
He's not keen though, is he? He doesn't want to do it. He's making a right old drama about it though. You know, he's trying to say that he's doing it out of modesty, but he's being a right grump about it. These are things that I don't like about Alf, right? Like, you know, and I always tell you, like, oh, I'm not really into him. And you're like, how can you not be? How dare you? But then they try, you know, Rue and Maz try and have a talk to him. And he's like, no, I'm not blowing my own trumpet and flare to a flaming journo. And Rue's all going ahead with it anyway. He gets the questions emailed to her and answers it as if she's a dad. Oh my God. You just know it's not going to end well. Maz doesn't think it's a good idea, but doesn't really
Mm,
put a foot down. Remember, she's on eggshells with Rue. They've only just made up 2 weeks ago for,
mm,
from like kicking her out of her house. So, of course, Marilyn's not going to stand up to her too much. You know what I mean? She's going to
mm.
gently suggest and then keep her nose out. So Rue plows on with the plan anyway in a very Rue fashion. The article comes out in the Coastal News the next day. Flaming Rue, wait till I see her, Alf says. And poor Marley gets roped in. Rue
Mm.
says, "Can you get a picture of my dad in front of his new plaque? Not plaque, plaque."
Clark, I know, I noticed that as well.
Is
Plaque.
that how plaque is pronounced in Oz? Plaque.
Do you know what? I think they say plaque in the south of England as well. Don't they say plaque down there where they say grass
Oh,
and
like
glass?
bath. Gonna
Yeah,
draw a bath.
bath. I'm gonna look at my plaque while I draw a bath and drink from my glass on my grass.
It was hot anyway. It was very distracting. I was
It's
like,
plaque. It's plaque,
it's
innit?
plaque,
Plaque.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like on your
Or
teeth.
sign.
Like what you have on
Yeah.
your teeth. It's plaque.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Sorry, we're British if you're international listening. We've got lots of plaque. Right. And he's like, "Don't come the raw prawn with me, young fella.
Oh, yeah.
You stitch me up." And poor Marley's a victim of Rue's schemes himself.
Ruse, as we talked
Rue-
about first. Look. I was actually really angry. I texted you about this, didn't I? Because I was like, how
Yeah.
dare she? How dare she drag Marley into her lies? Because at this point, I was genuinely worried because I was like, okay, we've had some really, really nice scenes lately where Mr. Stewart and Marley have been really getting on and, they've been mutually respecting each other. It's been it's been a bit of a bromance. I've quite
Yeah.
enjoyed it. And I
Yeah.
thought, if we have now a week of him going, I can't trust that flaming mongrel from wherever he's from. I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I don't want that because it's not Marley's fault that Rue lied to him
Mhm.
and made him complicit in her lie to Mr. Stewart. I was really, really annoyed. I'm really glad it got sorted out quickly because I couldn't be doing with a week of Alf having a kick off about it because Rue had lied. I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, and
No.
I haven't got time for Alf kicking off. It really does me head in.
I've got time for Alf kicking off. I love Alf. I love Alf. Like you and I will always disagree about this. You're not that keen. I love the fact that he's a grumpy, old boomer. I love that about him, and I love a kickoff, especially when it's at Rue. But I was annoyed that he was angry at Marley because of Rue, and I thought, no,
Yeah.
shout at Rue. Don't go near Marley. It's not him. I'm
Well,
glad
you'll-
we didn't get a week of that because I'd have been
Yeah,
cross.
same. You'll have loved his breaking news announcement then, won't you? Father about to throttle daughter.
Honestly, best line of the week. Best line of the week.
And you can quote me on that.
I clapped. I clapped. Yes, Mr. Stewart. I wish you bloody would. Just get on and throttle her. Put her out of her misery. Put us
Oh my
all out
God.
of our own misery.
We'd pay per view it. If
Oh,
we had
we
to pay
would.
for it, we'd pay.
I would get here's my bank account details. I'll ping them over to Channel 7. Like seriously.
Oh dear. Ultimately, he wants the article retracting. I'm not sure why he's pushing it. I'm like, it's out there now. Get over it. Even Marilyn says tomorrow there'll be a new front page.
Yeah,
Like-
it wasn't awful. It wasn't a bad article. I think although
Oh.
Rue had done something behind his back, which he doesn't like dishonesty, does he? He's a stickler for being truthful and not lying and everything else. So I get that, and I think also he doesn't like being the centre of attention. He does in a way because have you noticed how they were? I think it was Marilyn was saying, "Oh, this woman's commented on the online article saying you saved her life," and he goes, "Oh, I don't care about that, Marilyn. Just want a cup of tea." And as she walked off to the kitchen to get his tea, kind of smirked like he was happy that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't really want attention, but he actually does enjoy it when it's
Yeah.
something nice, and that made
Yeah.
me laugh because I was like, that's classic Mr. Stewart. He doesn't want to look like he's showboating. He mentioned that, didn't he? He said, I don't want to do the article because it's showboating about how great I am, and that makes him uncomfortable. But I think actually, if other people showboat him, he's quite happy for it, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. He is really. Yeah.
Yeah, deep down, deep down.
Way down. Yeah, you're right. So I mean, it's just all going to go away as fast as it arrived, really. Like
Yeah.
like she says, yesterday's news, tomorrow's fish paper.
I do have
Chip-
a question. Did he go to Marimbula and come back really fast, or did he not go at all?
Well, yeah, because we were saying he's out of town, is he not?
Yeah,
happened
and
with that?
but did you know that who was it that had a conversation? It might have been Marley. It was either Marley or Xander. I can't remember. In the surf club, one of them said to him, "And how was your trip, Mr. Stewart? And how's Martha?" And he went, "Oh yeah, no, she's great." And I thought, has he been anywhere? But then I was like, was this the season finale for Australia? Did they go off air for a couple of weeks and then came back and it was like Mr. Stewart's back from Marimbula now? I don't know.
No, it won't be.
There was a clip where I can't remember if it's Marley or Xander, somebody said to him, "How was your trip and how's Martha?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, no, she's okay, she's on the mend." And I thought, what trip? He was here yesterday and he's here today.
Well, he did say so after his award was given to him, because
Said he
she
was
couldn't
going.
go. Well, yeah, she couldn't go to the awards because she had the flu. The next day, he did say, "She's feeling better. I'm going to go down." He
Yeah,
did say that.
and he said he was leaving.
Yeah,
But now
And
he's
then he's-
here again.
very weird.
Very
Very
weird.
weird. Very weird. Some continuity issues. Let's
Yeah.
let's put it to that.
I'm happy.
Um,
I'm happy that he hasn't gone anywhere as far as
and-
we're concerned.
I believe you've challenged our listenership
Oh yes,
to a little challenge, have you not?
I have, because you know when they mentioned the coastal news, because obviously for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, where have you been? Where have you been? So when Si started this podcast, and I can say this because I wasn't on the podcast back then, but he did a very, very clever thing, and he called the podcast Coastal News after, obviously, the fictional newspaper that's in Home and Away, Coastal News, which I think is hilarious and brilliant. It's genius. I'm allowed to say that because it wasn't anything to do with me back then. You didn't even know me, so I'm allowed to blow your trumpet for you. So I just think that's just brilliant. So obviously this week we've mentioned, I think on 3 episodes they've mentioned the Coastal News, haven't they? Because they mentioned it. They've been in contact, and the second day it was like I needed a photo for them, and the third day was when Al found out that he was in the Coastal News. They mentioned us three times at least this week. And each time they've mentioned us, we've put a tweet, haven't we, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to call it X.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've put a tweet out saying, "Oh, Coastal News Claxon," and I made a joke, didn't I, online? And I said, you know, every time they mention the Coastal News, the first person to tell us that we've mentioned in that episode, we're going to do a giveaway, a mug giveaway, because it doesn't happen very often, does it, that we
No.
get mentioned? And people like that idea. People were saying, yeah, go for it, and liking the tweet that we put out. So I thought, actually, let's do it. So we're going to have to be really careful not to do the Coastal News Klaxon anymore and let other people have a go. But yeah, if you out there in the ether, anybody out there that's listening, I don't know if there's anybody left, if you hear Coastal News mentioned on Home and Away, just tweet us, Facebook us, Instagram us, or send us an email and tell us that you've heard it, what day you heard it on. And yeah, you'll win a mug. We'll send you one, won't we?
Yeah, that's it. That's your challenge. That is
Yeah.
your challenge. Which is separate to the current mug giveaway we have going on.
Yeah, this is the long-term plan.
This
isn't it?
is a whenever you hear us, let us know. And there could be something in it for you.
And the first person to report it will get a mug.
Yep, absolutely. First one. It's first. Yeah, you've got to be speedy, Gonzalez. Also, we're sort of playing a bit of a game here with pod friend Marty. It's like, listen, if the Coastal News sets up a podcast in the story, we will deliver a mug to Australia.
I think we should put a second clause into this. If the Coastal News on the show starts a podcast and the hosts of that podcast are called Sophie and Si,
I would die.
then we will go to Sydney and we will hand deliver a mug to Marty.
There you go. I'm not sure, like, his role is nothing to do with what happens in the show. Anyway,
no, but it's out there now. It's manifest.
Yep. And I will get off air tonight and try and increase the limit on my credit card. How about that?
Yes, we are going to Sydney by hook or by crook. I'm manifesting. I'm doing it.
Do
I'm
you-
doing all,
do
I'm,
you-
I'm tapping. I'm doing it.
Do-
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want a mug, Marty?
Marty. Yes. Oh,
Right.
We love Marty. Hi,
We
Marty.
do. Hello. Right, Leah. Let's talk about Leah. A lot of things she loves.
Oh,
Does she?
yeah.
Wonder. She's trying to have a little nap on the couch there.
Oh, yeah.
Plagued by these bad dreams. She's being transported back, and we love this stuff. Back to the kidnapping, the yogurt factory, the cult, yada yada yada.
But not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the bits that we didn't get to see on the show. I want to see the gaps. How did they get caught? How did they get put in the yogurt factory? I wanted her to dream about that bit so I could see what happened.
You wanted your gap filling.
I want my gap filling. I did, genuinely. Because we know that they stopped at the side of the road to help somebody that was broken down, because Justin's like super mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he never opens his garage, he jumped out the car to assist somebody at the roadside. We heard all this when they were giving the interviews to the police, didn't we, about how they got bundled into the factory, but we haven't seen it, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted her to have a really crazy flashback dream, like really camp, over the top flashback dream of them getting bundled into a van with like a sack on their head, and then getting driven to the factory, and then getting shoved in the factory, and then like a big scene where the door was like shut behind them, and then the lock was locked and padlock on the door. I wanted all of that in the dream. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to see the in between. You know, how it because they've told us, but we want to see it, don't we?
And all we got was dreamy, dirty jumper.
It's early days. Early days. She's traumatized, bless her. It'll all might start coming back. I mean, she's so traumatized. She calls Triple O for a possum in the garden. Do you know what I mean?
She does. You know what? We need to acknowledge something that I didn't think about. And Jamie, hi Jamie, we love you. On Twitter, Jamie he messaged us. I can't remember what day it was. It might have been Monday or Tuesday, and said, "Did they get rid of all the security cameras outside Leah and Justin's house? Because when Andrew was all paranoid, and they put up all those cameras." And I know at the time Leah hated them, didn't she? And she wasn't very keen on Andrew's constantly being engrossed in the footage and watching them and getting paranoid, etc. So they may well have taken them down, but I don't remember them taking them down. Do you?
Well, it wasn't explained if they did. Yeah, why don't you just switch the camera on and have a look?
I know who's out there. Record it. So Jamie got me thinking, but I don't. Yeah, I think they've forgotten. They've forgotten Andrew. They've forgotten Andrew exists, let's face it. So
what's a camera amongst friends? Very good point, Jamie. Very good point. We're just jenning it for the plot. Now, Rose is like, something else is going on here. You know, like everything checks out. And Leah dismisses it all. I shouldn't have called you. Just leave it. Go away. Go and do some real police work. I'm fine. So... and I'm like, Rose couldn't solve a crime if it was like slapped her in the face. So she's hearing voices, isn't she? She's jumping at shadows. And the next day, Justin's due home. So, you're thinking, oh, God, what's going to go on here? Is it going to go the other way? Is she going to be fine when he's home? Turns out not. He sends Theo to Yabby Creek Jewelers for an engagement ring. What the hell is that all about? Why didn't he get an Uber?
I know. I don't know why he sent Theo. I mean, it was funny. It delivered some really funny lines. I think this whole thing, it was a bit of a comedy relief moment, wasn't it? With Theo picking out his aunt's engagement ring and everything. But it was, why couldn't, I know that he's just come out of hospital and he probably shouldn't be driving, but he could get to the diner and have a tea with Mr. Stewart.
I know.
Why can't he get to the shops and pick a ring? I don't get this.
They don't have a website. I'm like, you can picture this jewelers in Yabby Creek, can't you? It's got, like the person behind the counter is like 124
with a monocle.
Oh God, he should have just gone on QVC or something and ordered
I
one.
know.
Bloody
see.
hell.
Why can I see Patrick Moore behind a jewelry counter? That's what I can see. Games master. No, jewelry master. Yeah.
Oh dear. So this is all going on, and Leah's like, "You're distracted. We're trying to organise this big wedding," which I
Mm.
didn't think she would do. I was a bit like, "Is she going to be into this wedding?" You know, she didn't want to get.
Mm.
She was staunch on that opinion about not getting married, but
Yeah.
now she's picking out dresses, sorting out favours, and you know what? She's got a right list going. Rose comes over to check in. Did you see Leah shut right down as soon as she sees Rose? It's like
Yes.
Rose is going to uncover her. Why is she
Mhm.
trying to cover this up? You're allowed to feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all a bit confusing. Lovely romantic dinner on the balcony. Though, love a fairy light, don't you?
Oh,
Really
that was
sets the
lovely.
scene.
And very, very surprising. I think Justin is quite a romantic. He doesn't always get it right, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Doesn't
true.
always, but I think he has done quite well this week, even with help from various people. He has done a really good job, I think. Bless
Yeah,
him.
yeah, you're right. Yes, it is. You know, not every bloke would go to all that effort
No,
rather
definitely
than
not.
step
Yeah.
nephews and whatever.
Step nephew. Yeah.
I nearly said cousin. um,
Yeah.
Now, these nightmares, they're not going away, are they? She's up in the night. She's picturing him in hospital. She's reliving it all. Bree's telling her he's never going to live. I mean, Bree, we said it then, pulled a right stinker there. I mean, I'd have
Mm.
had her in court, let alone Irene, for something
I
like that.
know.
She was telling him to say goodbyes, and he was awake talking 10 minutes later.
I know. Oh,
Um,
that's not been
mm,
mentioned, isn't it? Because she went round to see
mm,
Brie, and she said something like, "You told me that my husband was not husband, my fiance was dying." And then, all of a sudden he's okay again. I thought, yeah, do you know what?
mm,
One of the reasons why
mm.
Leah's traumatized is because she thought she was saying goodbye to Justin, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden he's come back to life again.
yeah, Bree did this to her.
And yet
Yeah.
it wasn't acknowledged in that conversation, really, apart from a throwaway comment about, well, you told me that, and then obviously it didn't happen. I was thinking, Bree's took no responsibility for that, really,
No,
has she?
yeah, you're right. And that was a proper big stitch up. Did you
Hmm.
notice she's taken the engagement ring off, hasn't she? That nice big rock. She
Well,
took it
yeah,
off.
you would though. I was thinking about this, and I was like, I wouldn't sleep in that. I'd scratch my face to bits. It's massive. I'd wake up with scratches all over me the next morning if I slept in that. I don't sleep with any jewelry on at all. I couldn't.
Do you not?
No, I couldn't. Not even
Yes.
earrings. I take everything out. Earrings, necklaces, rings, everything comes off before I go to sleep.
I sleep with my wedding ring on.
Yeah, maybe if it's a wedding ring, it would be okay because you're not going to catch yourself on that. But a big diamond sticking out like that.
You've not seen my wedding ring. I'm only kidding.
I'm just imagining a band. Is it not a band?
It is a band, but it's got diamonds on it.
Oh, has it? Oh, okay.
Not like Lee's though. Not like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And I wear a watch because that tells you how you're sleeping. You know,
I couldn't sleep in a watch. No,
it monitors your sleep.
I
How
couldn't.
you
I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I have to be like, no,
Mm.
just me
Well,
in the sheets.
way up. Now, she's taken this ring off
Yeah.
and she's rested it. Did you notice the title of the book that she rested it on?
No, I didn't. What was it?
Oh, Sophie. A month of Sundays.
Was
You
it?
know the old saying, never
Yes.
in a month of Sundays.
Oh no! So this is a foreboding.
Oh, and the engagement ring was sat right on the top of it.
So when you're getting married, Leah, never in a month of Sundays.
So,
Oh,
am I reading between the lines there, or was that a little Easter egg?
I didn't notice, but I want to go back and rewatch that now.
I literally gasped. I thought, you clever sausages, you. Now, Justin's sensing a vibe, isn't he? You know, she's up in the middle of the night.
He's not that thick. Yeah.
No, yeah, well, he can be. And, she's not showing a ring off to people. She's not seeming very excited. And he has this gorgeous chat with his pal Alf.
Oh,
Bro chat,
bro.
And but Alf basically goes to Leah and says, "You need to reassure the bloke. You know, he thinks you've got second wind, cold feet,
cold feet, second thoughts. Yeah,
yeah. And it's not that,
cold
you
thoughts.
know, she all of the above.
Second feet.
She fobs him off, doesn't she? Again,
Yeah.
she says it's just the wedding planning. And he basically says to her, right, I am going to plan the whole thing. You do nothing. I am going to plan the wedding. And you're thinking, right, okay.
In the garage then, with overalls on.
Like an episode of Don't Tell the Bride, I think I tweeted out.
Yeah, it would be.
She's not the personality to not have any control at all, right?
No,
That's
no.
not going to happen. 2, he'll make a right hash of it. And 3, she's only said she's worrying about organised wedding to distract you from the truth.
Yes.
And of course, he's gone, well, I'm going to organise it. Great, you'll get a great night's sleep tonight. And she's thinking, oh, shit, I won't, because that's not the truth.
Yeah.
So she goes off and pays Dr. Bree a visit and is like, I need pills. I need something to sleep. I need to sleep now. I'll be fine if I sleep. Thinking, but when you're asleep, that's when the problem starts. I don't understand this.
I was going to say, the dreaming is the problem, isn't it? Or the nightmares are the problem. So if you're asleep, you're going to have a nightmare. So the sleeping tablets are going to make you less able to wake up from the nightmare, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, you'll just be stuck in it, surely.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
why is she
Bree's
lying?
reluctant.
Why is she lying to Justin? Are you understanding this? Is it because he's still recovering and she doesn't want to dump on him, like her trauma? Is she just want him to concentrate on himself and getting better because he's still not fully 100%, is he? Let's face it.
Is she worried that his anger problems will surface? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. I'm like sitting there going, "Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why? Why are you lying? It doesn't make any sense to me." I know she's quite a strong person. She doesn't really like to come across as weak, does she? But I think with Justin and the amount of years they've been together, the amount of times they've been in trouble, the amount of things they've gone through together, the one person she can be vulnerable with is Justin. Let's face it.
Well, especially if you want to marry him, you know what I mean. That the warts and all.
Yeah.
Partner, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you can't show that to your partner, who can you?
Exactly.
I mean, Bree's like, look, I can give you some sleeping pills if you want, but it's not going to solve the problem. She bites her head off, just like she's been biting Rose's head off all week. It's like anybody who tries to say she isn't strong enough to cope are immediately shot down. And it's this sort of pushing people away sort of phase that she's in, isn't it? She's going to have to face the trauma that she's been through at some point, and hopefully will flash back some more and fill in your gap.
Someone needs to fill that gap because my gap is gapping.
Oh my God. Please tell me we're not going to end the podcast like that.
No, this isn't the last topic, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's end it on my gap is a gapping.
Right, it's time for Your Say on the Bay.
Favorite.
I'm excited.
Favorite.
I love this section. I've actually really enjoyed the last few weeks going through social media and looking at people's comments and reactions, because I think we've had a lot of strong opinions on what's been going on the show the last couple of weeks. So obviously, everybody else out there has as well.
Love it when it sparks us all off and we all get kicking off about stuff. I just love it.
I know, it's great. It's great. So, Your Say on the Bay. This is what the section's called. So I've been digging through social meds, as John calls it, and reading comments and reactions from people who watch Home and Away at UK Pace, and everybody that watched it this week. I've been having a look about what you think about what's happening on the show at the moment. So before that, quick reminder, because we are on social medias as well. We're Coastal News Podcast. We're at Coastal News Pod on most of the social media apps: Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Twitter, etc. We're on there. We still tweet along. I guess I'm calling it tweet still. with the show, we watch it at 6:30, don't we? Every Monday to Friday on 5 Star here in the UK, and we do a little tweet along. We talk about the show on the hashtag Home and Away, and people join in if they're around. So if you want to join in the discussion, let us know your thoughts, and I might just read out your comment next week on Your Say on the Bay.
There we go.
So, there we go. Now, last week's Your Say on the Bay was the Tane and Flick special. Let's face it. There's no other way to call it, really. So this week was no Tane and Flick, because I think this is going to rumble on into next week's episodes, because there's more to come with the storyline. So this week we're going to focus on different topics, and the first topic I've picked is Leah and Justin, or Lustin, I think, as the social media's ship name is calling. Are they Lustin? Is that right?
Lustin, yeah.
Yeah, Lustin. So, Home and Away UK page posted a bit of a clickbaity trailer. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was on the My5 app as well, in between shows, about the greatest love story, the Bay's greatest love story, and it being about Justin and Leah. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So this obviously, this clip got put on the Home and Away UK Facebook page, and it was, pitched as Lustin being the greatest love story that the Bay's ever seen. And not everyone was feeling this. So I was going to get your opinion, but I'm going to tell you a couple of people's opinions before I do. So on Facebook, Anne says, in my opinion, Home and Away's greatest love story was Brax and Charlie. Could see that. Felicity, not the Felicity, said that they are most definitely not the greatest love story. That was Ziggy and Dean. Leah and Justin have both been around the block too many times with other people.
Oh God! Right, okay.
Okay.
And Dino was a virgin, was he?
Good point. Good point. And then Paul doesn't give us any names of who he thinks the greatest love story is, but he does say Leah and Justin are not the greatest love story the Bay's ever seen. Lots of strong comments, lots of people saying they're not the greatest love story, but not many people proffering their, who is the greatest love story? Who is the greatest love story of the Bay? Sorry. Do we know? Have we got an idea?
In my opinion, are you asking?
Yeah.
I think so. I agree with the general consensus. Like if they split up, they were just a blip in the history, weren't they? I mean, when I think of Leah and love stories, I immediately
think
Vinny. Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no contest, is there? So
no.
So like what we're talking about. I would even say currently, if we're just talking currently, Flick and Tane are the biggest love story we've seen in the current era of the show.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though that's not going too well right now. For me, we need to talk about the classics. We need to talk about the Shane and Angels.
I know.
The Gypsy and the Wills.
Donald and Marilyn.
Donald and Marilyn. Alf and Elsa.
Yeah.
Those kind of great, because it's quite a statement that the greatest love story in the Bay.
I know. Very bold to come out with that for Justin and Leah, really, I think.
Yeah. I don't. They're nice and I like them together. I don't dislike them as a couple, but I wouldn't say they're the greatest love story. They've not overcome enough. Need a few more kidnappings yet. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree. So, okay, so that was the greatest love story, and with the general consensus is we don't think they are the greatest love story the Bay's ever seen. So I think we're all in consensus with that. But Leah's struggling right now. So Leah obviously has come back from her 1000th kidnapping, I'd say, out of the history of the show. She's been kidnapped several times, hasn't she? But this one she's really struggling with. She's, we're seeing some lasting effects of the trauma that's come out of this kidnapping for Leah. So would you say that people are being empathetic, that they're feeling Leah's struggles for her ordeal? Let's have a look at the comments, shall we? Interesting. Interesting comments. So Claire on Facebook said Leah has been through some really heavy stuff. Do you remember when she was kidnapped and nearly forced into marriage, and I think Colby saved her? I think some of these storylines are a bit far-fetched, as that would that really happen to one person? Yes, Claire. That's a good point, isn't it? A very good point.
It is her 100th, 1000th. I don't know. I can't
It
remember how
feels
many.
like it. Yeah, it feels
I've lost
like she's
count.
been kidnapped before. This isn't her first rodeo, is it?
It isn't.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Eventually, it's
it,
got to catch up to you, though, isn't it? If the first one doesn't traumatize you, the second, third, 100th,
yeah,
1000th one.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
I said recently, I'm surprised she even leaves the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I'd be full on agoraphobic if I was Leah. I'll be honest.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would.
But then Leslie went back to Claire and said, Justin's been through a lot too, right from the start. Since he came into it, he's been through a lot. I just wish the writers would leave them alone and let them get married and be happy and give the dramatic storylines to other people for a change.
Really?
Yeah.
We're constantly whinging about all the young newbies getting storylines.
Not Leslie.
Leah is slap bang in the middle of a major storyline, and it looks like it's got repercussions, and we're still complaining. Okay.
That you can't please everybody, and I think that is the pretty much sums up the whole. If it wasn't called Your Say on the Bay, I think I would call it You Can't Please Everybody.
Okay, right, I'll be quiet.
Because I think every week there's like some people going, I love it, and some people going, I fucking hate this. It's awful. So I think it's just more proof that there's a lot of people with strong opinions, and some people like what they like, and some people dislike what they dislike, etc.
Yeah.
Julie on Facebook says, I used to like Leah, but I'm going off her very fast. And Mandy agrees. Mandy says she's annoying. In fact, Mandy says, Mandy's a bit Yoda. Annoying she is. Annoying she is.
This likens to your experience with Leah.
Yes.
In that you've always loved her, sweetheart.
I still love her. I still love Leah.
Yeah. And
Genuinely.
then I sort of said to you, read a bit closer about people's reaction.
Yeah, it's you definitely opened my eyes, because I've always loved Leah. She's one of my favourite characters on the show, I'll be honest, up there with Irene and Alf for me.
Yeah.
And Marilee, obviously the greats. Because she's been in it so long and she's had so many storylines. I just love her. I just think I love Ada. I think that's what it boils down to. I think Ada's just beautiful, and I would like to be her when I come back in the second life. I'd like to be Ada. So I just love her. But I do see it now. You opened my eyes to her flaws, which I think I forgave her for, because I was like, oh, she's Greek and fiery, and she's whatever. And now I see it, and now I see that she does meddle, and she is a bit of a hypocrite sometimes. And it wasn't until I spoke to you that I started to see that in as much detail, I think, as other people are. There's lots of people pointing the flaws out on Facebook, and I'm like, I see it now, I get it.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
because she definitely divides people. It's very interesting.
She do it, because I genuinely before you told me that, I genuinely thought, why would anyone hate Leah? And now I see it on Facebook on the comments, and I'm like, oh, people really don't like her. And also I can kind of understand it as well. I get it. But I think because I like Flick, I see her flaws, I accept the flaws because I like her so much. So I kind of go, and like Mr. Stewart as well. Mr. Stewart is flawed, but I love him. I love him.
Yeah. All the best characters are.
Yeah, I like the more complex characters rather than the three.
I was about to say that. It gives them dimensions, doesn't it? Yeah.
I like the three-dimensional, the one-dimensional, but it's not about me. Sorry, I digress. It's not about me. Sophie, not me, I would have to say. Sophie says, I wish she wouldn't keep snapping at Rose. See, this isn't me because I love it. I wish she wouldn't keep snapping at Rose. I know she's been through a lot, but if it wasn't for Rose, Vita Nova wouldn't have been arrested, and Leah and Justin would still be in danger. You got a point, Sophie, but I do like her snapping at Rose. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, and possums.
Possums in the garden, yes. Pauline's back. Guess who's back?
Oh, yes, Pauline, star of the show.
Back again. Pauline. Pauline has, I think it's a poem. I think it's a poem. Right. I'll read it to you, and you can decide.
Okay.
This is about Leah. Okay, so Pauline says, will this woman ever be satisfied? No matter what, nothing beguiles. She is very needy, and whomsoever is in trouble, her troubles are the worst. 'Tis her needs must be met, or the entire play we can forget. Why do I feel like Mystic Meg when I read these out? I feel like Mystic Meg. Oh, Pauline. I don't really understand it, Pauline, but I love it. Love it. Keep contributing, Pauline. I love you. She's my favourite. She's honestly my favourite Facebook commenter. Not sure what you're saying, but I'm with you. I'm with you. You're just dying. Do you not agree? I think that's great. She writes the most creative posts on Facebook I've ever
It's the way she tells
seen.
them.
It's
Yeah.
the way. Yeah, it's not what she says; it's how she says it. Definitely, I love it. Stop laughing. So Claire's got no sympathy. Claire on Facebook has got no sympathy for Leah. She says Leah needs to get a grip of herself. Hope she gets some help, and then her and Justin can just get married. Just get married. Just get a grip. Just get married.
Get a grip.
Just get a grip. Someone went back to Claire. A couple of people went back to Claire actually. So this created a bit of a dialogue on Facebook, which I love. I got my popcorn out and read through some of the comments. So Elizabeth went back to Claire and said, I know it's only a TV programme, but she just went through a horrific ordeal which has affected her mental health and probably left her with PTSD. Hello, Dr. Logan. Paging Dr. Logan. Telling someone that they need to get a grip of themselves is such a horrible thing to say. I hope you never have to go through any type of horrible ordeal and have someone tell you to get a grip, as it actually makes things worse. Oh, Elizabeth, I've got to be honest. I enjoyed your comment. Francis said, in relation to this, because Francis replied to Claire, who was the original Get a Grip Leah. Francis said, but as in true soap fashion, she tells everyone she is fine, in quotation marks. It is not a weakness to admit that you need help. She has been through quite an ordeal.
Yeah, she has, but that's not just a soap fashion. I think people do that a lot.
I do that. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What are people going to do if I'm not? Do you know what I mean? If I tell people I'm fine and then I'm not fine, what can they do about it? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's the normal part of life, isn't it?
Mm.
Not everyone wants to put their problems out there for everybody to know about. Anyway, Frances says she's been through quite an ordeal and felt she had to be strong for Justin while he is just out of hospital and coming home, and it's now caught up with her. I think that's how I feel, Frances, that she's trying to spare him while he's healing and getting better.
Yeah. She thinks she's doing it for him.
Yeah,
doesn't she?
I think so. Maybe she'll open up when she thinks he's a bit stronger. I don't know. Diane on Facebook says, I think Leah needs to just tell Justin what's going on and get some help. Yeah. And then Lara says, poor Leah. That's probably one of the few comments, Lara, that I've seen that's actually feeling a bit empathetic towards Leah. Talking of not being empathetic towards Leah, on Twitter, AJ says, so Leah has a bad dream, hears a noise outside and immediately calls the police. It seems like an overreaction to me. Not based on what she's been through. I think it's a reasonable reaction for someone that's just been kidnapped and the cult knows where you live.
I was going to say, she thinks the cult are outside, doesn't she? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's overreacting. I think I'd probably react the same, but I am a bit of a drama queen, so I don't know. Maybe not. So
the callers are the people who work on Triple O, like, oh, Soap's on line one again.
Oh God, it's that hysterical woman. There's a possum in a garden, quick. Absolutely. I'm sorry, but if I'd just been kidnapped and held almost to death and I had to climb my way out, I think I'd be a bit paranoid that they knew where I lived and they come for me again. I'm not being funny.
Yeah, I think you'd be a psychopath not to.
I'd be in a ward with a padded cell, I'll be honest. I'd be locked up. But I think Leah's doing really. She went to work like the next day. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have. I'd have had like a month off. So, I think she's doing all right, really. So, based on the reactions that I just read to you about how sympathetic everybody is about Leah, do you think people are excited about the engagement?
Well, no, really.
Should we see what people are saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, there was a Home and Away UK page post. I think it was a picture of them, on the balcony in Salt with the fairy lights and the moonlight in the background and the ring on the table and all that. I think it was a picture of that. And a few of the comments on this were quite interesting. So the first comment I found was Emma, who said, "R.I.P. Justin."
We're all thinking it.
I love this. Thanks, Emma. That made me laugh so much. And there was, after R.I.P. Justin, there was like a little emoji where they're covering their eyes, and then another little emoji where they're laughing. Because this is a running joke, isn't it? That Lee is the Black Widow of the Bay, and if Justin marries her, just because he's out of hospital now, doesn't mean he's out of the woods yet. Because if he marries her, he's a dead man, essentially. So that's where that's come from. Yeah. And Felicity also agrees. So Felicity on Facebook says he better start his funeral plan now. How many of his 9 lives has he got left? I was like, yeah, you're right. But not everybody is as cynical. Not everybody is as cynical as Emma as Felicity. So Rebecca on Facebook says it's about time. They've been together for a long time. And Sally says, I can't wait for their wedding and to see Tori back, even if it's just for a couple of episodes.
Well, that's been rumoured, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, this has got people talking on Facebook. So we've seen it on spoilers and Back to the Bay website and everything else, that Tori is coming back for the wedding, or the supposed wedding. I don't know if it goes ahead or not, but she's back in the Bay, we assume, for the wedding. But other people are speculating about who else could come back, because this week we had that scene where they're talking about the wedding planning, and she's saying we need to invite the people that are overseas. So when you think about Tori, so other people on Facebook are saying, what about Brody? What about Raffi? What about Ava? Are they coming to the wedding? Are we going to see these people again? So lots of people are commenting on the Facebook post about, how far back are we going in terms of the guest list?
Yeah.
For this wedding. So there's lots of comments about that as well.
And remember, whatever the scenario is, the audience have a longer memory than the writers normally do.
Oh, of course, we remember everything. Like literally, dear writers, we remember everything. So just putting.
You never need any help.
just we're open. I mean, DMs, we're open.
DMs open. If you need to know someone's birthday, we'll get it.
We'll remember. Yeah, absolutely. Val on Facebook says, I absolutely love these two. I hope Home and Away do an amazing wedding for them and bring some old cast back into the wedding party. So there's lots of people speculating about who could turn up for this wedding. So people are getting excited, I think, not just about the wedding, but about, who could come back and be.
Why do people set themselves up for a fall? This doesn't happen on any other wedding.
I feel bad because, not everyone is as optimistic, though, I guess, in a way, because Avril says, you just know she's going to get cold feet. So Avril doesn't think there's going to be a wedding at all.
No, I don't. I'm with Avril, to be honest.
Yeah.
Julie
on Twitter's thinking the same thing. So Julie says, with Leah's mood at the minute, she'll probably flip him off. Oh. Yeah, I think, it's a good
these days.
I think there's a good chance that this might not happen. And Julie's right, she could just flip and just say, nah, this wedding's not going ahead. Carol,
let's just think about the scenario before we go on to Carol. Sorry, this is only happening because he was dead.
Yes, I know.
Or as good as. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was dying. Yeah.
This hasn't come out of some ultimate romance.
No, it's not romantic. It's desperate, isn't it? Let's face it. Yeah. Sorry.
Go on, Carol. What's she saying?
Carol's also in the skeptic camp, I would say, because Carol says, oh look, a honeymoon, more time away from work for Justin.
Any excuse
not to put a shift in. And Carol also says, I want to know how all these people pay their bills, their rent, their mortgages with their part-time / no time flaky work life.
That ruins the illusion of the Bay.
Many a time we've discussed that on this pod, Carol.
There are no money troubles in the Bay. Even the band are wearing don't look skin. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Cost of living crisis has not hit the Bay. Nope. Inflation crisis has not hit the Bay.
No. House price crisis not hit the Bay.
No, we're all good. like little bubble. We should move there, Si. Come on, let's go.
You don't have to ask me twice, love.
We should just go. And yeah, so
Although
everyone's happy.
one of us
Oh.
would be dead by the year out.
Oh, that's true. Well, just don't marry Leo, and we might make it to season 2. You never know.
Oh, that should be
Yeah.
easy to achieve.
It'd be fine. It'd be fine.
I don't plan on proposing to her, do you?
No, I don't mind being kidnapped for a bit. I just
Shake it up a bit of something to do. Yeah.
You can kidnap me. You can shoot me in the leg with a crossbow. I'm happy. I'm still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while you do that, I'll have a couple of surf lessons.
With Marley. Yes. Yeah.
I'll keep it safe.
Yeah.
I'll do my first one just on the sand only.
The pop it up on the board one. Yeah, I could probably do that.
I'll get a temp job in the diner.
Yeah. Flat white to go. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. And then there's a couple of people to end the Leah and Justin segment before I move on. Marilyn, not the Marilyn. It's amazing how many people that comment on the Facebook page that have the names of the cast as well. It's brilliant. So Marilyn, not Marilyn Chambers, says Justin and Leah are getting too many stories.
What?
Too many stories. Yeah.
How?
Don't know. No, I'm confused. I'm as confused as you are. Maybe it's the band and the kidnapping and the wedding. Maybe because there's like 3, and the Ava. So last year they had Ava.
Yeah, I suppose
community
so.
service.
They've had a lot on, haven't they?
I don't think it's too many though. There's only 20 people in the cast. You have to have a storyline, or else why are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I tend to. There was a similar comment right at the beginning of this, wasn't there, about that? Not sure I agree, because a lot of the criticism that you hear of the show is always the whole. I'm not even. It feels awful calling Ada old, because she's not.
She's like my age.
I know, but you sort of bundle her in with Alf, and don't you? Do you know what I mean?
No, Alf's like my dad's age. No, Ada's like my age, and Alf's like my dad's age.
Okay, the long timers on the show, let's call them that. We all complain that they never get a story and blah, blah, blah. And yet Marilyn hasn't stopped for 2 years, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then Ada, bless her, she's not even the same age as half of the other cast members she gets bundled in with. It's just that she's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
We constantly cry out for these people to have storylines, and when they do, we say they've got too many.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think she is a few years older than me. I think she's like mid-40s, but still, it's young. You know what I mean?
She's not old, is she? But
she's not. Yeah.
She's part of the sort of old home and away gang.
She's a veteran. She's not.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. Veteran. Yeah. So Marilyn thinks, just too many stories, and then Farrah, to end the Lustin section, it says, I'm actually getting bored of this whole storyline. I'm not bored of the story. Are you bored of the storyline? The Leah, Justin, and the cult, the trauma, post cult, the engagement. Are you bored?
No, it's quite exciting actually.
I don't love a wedding, but I'm into this. I want to see. I don't think we're going to get a wedding. I think that's probably why I'm interested, because I want to see where the wheels come off.
Yeah,
this whole thing. But
you're right.
Yeah, I am.
Better than watching the band fall out.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, it is better than watching the band. Yes. No, I'm not bored. But obviously that's your opinion, Farrah, and you're entitled to it.
Yeah. Well, tell us. Get in touch and tell us what you're not bored with. How about that?
Yeah, what are you enjoying? Yeah, which of the storylines that you are interested in? That'd be interesting to know in comparison to this one. Yeah. So that's Lustin. What about Irene Harper Dana? So this is obviously taken up at the beginning of this week, hasn't it, with the court and the sentencing that wasn't really a sentencing, it's more of an exoneration, etc. So first of all, Twitter were very happy because they were excited that we actually got to see a courtroom. So Jamie was the first person, I think, to tweet this. Great to actually see a courtroom on Home and Away. And loads of people agreeing. So David said, yeah, it beats last year when everyone was hanging outside the courthouse when Justin was in the dock. Do you remember when Justin was up for GBH? Because he'd hit that guy thinking that he'd done something with his daughter, and he hadn't, in it, that whole storyline. And David said, yeah, it beats that, because last year we just saw them sitting outside on a bench, didn't we? Not actually courtroom, but we got to hear from third parties, oh, this happened in the courtroom and that happened in the courtroom, and then someone gets summoned into giving a witness statement or whatever, but we never saw it. So everyone on Twitter's I don't think anyone on Facebook mentioned this, but Twitter really picked up on the courtroom, and nice to see a courtroom. Just Jen mentioned it as well.
As the last one was outside, we love a courtroom drama. We love all that drama inside a courtroom.
Absolutely.
It was nice to see, and it was nice to see, as bad as it was, nice to see Irene in the dock.
Yes.
Because it's sort of a ledge character.
Yeah. Yes. Veteran.
Yeah, veteran was the word, wasn't it? 2 minutes ago. And she's in trouble, and that whole thing is quite dramatic to watch. Yeah,
which we love. Yeah. So Jamie, David, and Jen all on Twitter saying love a court scene. Jen's actually said she's obsessed with Law and Order, so she always loves a court scene. So yeah, with you on that one, Jen.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
absolutely love it. So that's the court scene, but what about what actually happened in the court? So obviously Irene and Harper's charges have been dropped. So like we were discussing this on the main pod, and we were like, really? Like that was easy and a little convenient and quick and everything. What do you think other people's reactions were to the revelation of everything just being, yes, fine?
I think, I don't know, but I have a feeling a little bit like us. I don't think people are feeling very sympathetic towards Harper and Dana.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get onto that in a moment.
Okay.
But the initial reaction to the charges, everybody, I couldn't find any bad comments at all. I scoured Facebook, I scoured Twitter. Everyone was happy. So Sue Carter on Facebook said, what a great end to that storyline, well done writers, and then like clapping emoji.
Oh, that's nice, because everyone likes to slag the writers off, so well done.
I know, yeah, and absolutely, we should credit where credit's due. If people are enjoying it, we should flag this up on You'll Say on the Bay. So yeah, Sue Carter loving it. Margaret said, a very just outcome to the situation. Now we can get some stories going with the sisters, and she's got a theory. Which one's going to have a fling with Tane?
Well, he's soon to be single, Margaret, you feisty thing.
I know, he's like not even divorced. It's just a separation right now, Margaret. Like, chill.
There was comments on this last week as well. I was at the week
and there
before.
Was lots of people are already pairing.
People are already wondering where the next coupling is. This is interesting.
It is. People get over a coupling quite fast.
I know.
It's quite because Tane and Flick were like our hot couple, weren't they? And now it's like, okay, they're over. Who else? Who else could we hook up with? I love it. It's very salacious and juicy.
Yeah.
There's a few quick comments I'm just going to read out quickly. So Carol says, great news. Catherine says, fantastic news and well done. Great end to the storyline. Lindsay says, great news. Miranda says, fantastic news. Sonia says, a lovely outcome. I just love Home and Away. So lots of people really, really happy about the outcome of the storyline. In particular, people are happy about Irene getting off. So I'll talk about the Harper aspect, I'll put it that way, in a moment. But lots of people are happy that Irene didn't go to prison. So Miranda, I'm so happy for Irene. She deserves it. Sheila says, oh my God, what a lovely ending. I would have stopped watching if they jailed Irene. She's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Claire says, so happy for Irene. Louise says, I'm glad she didn't go to prison. I hope Irene and John get together. Now this is another thing that's been cropping up a lot this week. So Sally says, these things have made me tear up with Irene's friendship with John. Heart emoji. Lots of people are sort of thinking, because he called her his BFF, didn't he? He's like, she's my best friend. like tearful in the diner talking to Harper and Dana. So lots of people are still hanging some hopes on a John and Irene, relationship. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Same.
I'm not there. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Liz says, yay, Renee survives another day. And then a happy emoji face. Sharon says, I was happy with the ending. Mark says, Irene is a brilliant character. And Christine says, this made me so happy. Lots of people saying great episode, including Elizabeth says great episode. Glad she's not going to prison, says Ashley. And Ian says, glad Irene got off. Who were?
Oh.
I know. There's a couple of people raising concerns about Irene's friends, though. So Hannah says, I feel throughout the storyline that she's had no support from some of her friends, except from John. Where was the support from Rue, Marilyn, and Alf, particularly
And
surrounding the
Leah.
court
I
date?
know she's got a lot going on, but Leah.
Yeah. Leah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, where was Leah? Obviously, hospital adjusted, but Hannah says, even in today's episode, which was Monday for us at 6:30, with the sentencing, you would have thought they would have gone and supported her. But instead, we got Alf's newspaper article and the Coastal News, and Rue and Marilyn caught up with that. I love the show, but I just thought this was a bit odd. And she's not the only one, because David also commented. David on Facebook said, it's weird that Rue and Marilyn are more concerned about the Coastal News article with Alf than they are with supporting Irene. So lots of people have mentioned this.
Yeah, that is a very valid point. She's potentially going away for 7 years.
Yeah.
And you're prating about making up lies about the bloody newspaper.
Yeah. They've got a point. Yeah, absolutely. There were some people that were concerned about Cash, which I think we're going to find out next week, possibly. So how does this affect Cash? Will he be able to go back to work? That was Denise.
He should be on the dock himself,
and
if you ask me.
and Philip was saying, what's going to happen to Cash? There was lots of comments like that.
Yeah.
About what does this mean for Cash? How does this affect him? But then also the attention obviously went to immediately, okay, so if Harper and Irene are both exonerated, no charges, etc., no consequences to what they did, does this mean that Harper and Dana are sticking around, and what do we feel about this? So I'll read you some comments. Kathy on Facebook says, this is good. Hopefully these two can clear off. And Jamie agrees. Jamie says they can clear off and leave Irene alone now.
Well, they have brought out but trouble.
They have so far. Yeah, they have so far. Lindsay says, I think they're staying for good though. And everyone replied to Lindsay and went, I hope not. Lots of people saying, I hope they're not sticking around. Elizabeth said, I hope they're not staying. They don't fit into the show. Send them back where they came from. Very Brexit opinion there, Elizabeth. Yeah. People are not, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of love for Harper and Dana.
Yeah, this worries me, because they're clearly the new characters.
Yeah.
You and I were talking on the main discussion with our thoughts about it, and how we saw potential in Dana early doors. That seems to have waned very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And out of the two, Harper would be the ones we would associate ourselves with, should this be real.
Yes.
But they've not had a chance for that sort of integration in the Bay yet. They don't have jobs. They've talked about getting them. We haven't had that sort of societal integration just yet. And out of the two of them, Harper, because of her links with Cash, is probably the one who has the most scenes outside of this drama.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right.
So hopefully that sentiment changes as they integrate more in Summer Bay life.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, I'll be honest, looking at the comments, it's looking like, sorry, just letting the dog out. It's looking like people are more empathetic with Harper rather than Dana. So people are saying, let me just have a look at the comments. So I can't take to her character, and I've tried to. That was about Dana from Joanne. And then Leslie replied and said, I can't take to either of them. And then Jeanette said, "Oh, can Harper just leave now? I can't stand her." And then Lindsay replied to that and said, I like Harper, I just don't like the other one. So there's like a divide. So some people don't like
Yeah.
either of them. Some people like Harper but not Dana. And some people don't like, Harper herself. So it's a bit, there's no common trend with the comments. It's like split between three kind of opposing opinions of don't like any of them, don't like one of them, Harper, don't like one
It'll
of them.
be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting
Yeah.
to track that as we go
Yeah.
through the next couple of months to see where that shifts.
Yeah, absolutely.